Welcome back to East Texas Now. Joined with us live in the newsroom, a couple of very special guests that I have all of the questions for. Please welcome, there they are, the co-captains of the UT Tyler Concrete Canoe Team, Hannah McGinnis and Esther Fajardo. Guys, thanks so much for joining us here on the East Texas Now desk.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so I know that the lower third there says Concrete Canoe Team, and if you out there, East Texas Now viewers or anything like me, you had no idea that existed until today when we get to talk about how phenomenal and successful you guys have been. But first, let's go ahead and just get a breakdown, a definition, if you will. What in the world is a Concrete Canoe Team?
You can go ahead. So Concrete Canoe is a civil engineering student competition. Universities across the United States, and actually we're kind of expanding into around the world, compete in this, but it's exactly what the name implies. We build a canoe out of concrete, and yes, it does float, and we get in it and paddle it around and race. Has a few different components to the competition. You know, since it is still a civil engineering competition, we're trying to focus on the engineering aspects. We write a 30 to 40 page technical paper. We give a big oral presentation. You get judged actually on the aesthetics, the final product, the theming, and then of course the races, which is everyone's most favorite part at the very end of it all.
That's where your adrenaline really gets pumping.
Oh yeah.
I love that. Okay, so you recently competed in the ASCE Symposium, which stands for something civil engineering. What was it?
The American Society of Civil Engineers.
Yes.
Blows me away. Where you were judged on all of that. You were judged on writing the report.
Yes.
You were judged on the way you built it, how it looks, which is interesting, and then racing it. So tell us a little bit about you guys' strategy moving into this competition. Do you practice a specific strategy and then on the day execute what you practice, similar to a athlete, or do you get there and you're like, okay, let's figure it out right here?
I'll just begin by saying that every little component that goes into the concrete canoe is essential. So details are super important to us, and those tend to carry along into the paper, the presentation, which we practice and write and study for in advance to make sure that we have it exactly right. Hannah has a very good structure. She's been doing this for a long time, at least getting to participate with her father, so I want her to be able to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, a few details about the presentation. It's only 5 minutes.
Okay.
If you go over those 5 minutes at all, you take a big deduction. You will not place at all if you go over that 5 minute time period. So we take a team of 4 presenters. All of our lines are completely memorized and rehearsed.
Yes.
But you don't want it to sound completely memorized and rehearsed. You want it to sound very natural, to flow. You also have slides in the background. I'm clicking through those, I'm talking, and at the same time, I'm like, okay, I have to click through 40 slides and make sure I hit them all at the right time. And then for racing, I mean, we practice that as well. We have paddle practice twice a week, all year long. Occasionally, the weather disrupts that. We try and go, row on the rowing machines. We're certainly not full athletes. We are still engineers, but anything we can do to help us prepare to when we get to competition, make things go as smoothly as possible. We want to go and we want to dominate, frankly.
Yes.
So if we can go in with that experience, that's great. For me, this is, UT Tyler's had a concrete canoe team for 16 years. I think I've been mildly involved in some capacity since I was about 7. My dad used to be the concrete canoe advisor there, so he used to kind of use it like free childcare for a little bit. And then when I was in high school, UT Tyler sponsored a high school concrete canoe team, which I was the captain of, and then got to college, started doing it then, and it's always just been a part of my life. So for me, this is just what I do. It's part of the preparation has just been all of the years of this, and then how much can I help everyone else,
Yeah, working together is essential. Having a good team, and we have a very good team that is willing to put in the time, put in the work. We've had very many late nights, just as college tends to have. But I think it's being able to put in the work and being able to talk to each other that allows us to be successful.
Yeah.
That is phenomenal. Now, you have the presentation ready ahead of time, obviously. Do you build the boat ahead of time too?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
So
So it's all like you do all of this work and you're building it, you're testing it, and then you're presenting everything that you've already
Yes.
done.
Exactly,
Okay, that makes so much sense. Okay, that's fantastic. And you were talking about how successful you guys have been. And honestly, for the first time ever in you've gone back to back to regionals. Last year, you had a historic top 10 finish nationally, and now you're heading back to nationals again. This time in Utah, I believe, right?
Yes.
How excited are you to head to nationals?
we're so excited. This year, it was definitely tougher for us. We were seniors. We just graduated.
Yes.
And so all of a sudden, you've been doing this and you're an undergrad and, you're using it as an opportunity to network and to find a job maybe and to connect with people. And then you hit senior year and you've found the job, you've made the network, and all of a sudden you're like, wow, this is a lot of work and I'm still doing it. But I mean, it makes it all worth it. So it was definitely a little bit of a tough start for us, but to finish as strongly as we did, we were just so proud and so excited to get to go to nationals again.
Yes.
I mean, we would love to be able to beat our record from last year. Placing 6th nationally is the record
Incredible,
for
yeah.
it's the record for a Texas-Mexico school ever in concrete canoe. So it's
Wow.
it's been I think 3 schools have reached that
Yeah.
before, including us. So if we could do better than that this year, that would be
That would-
awesome.
Very, very
Three-way tie.
exciting.
Yeah.
Trying to set it on your way out. So you mentioned that you're both seniors. Are you both civil engineer majors?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
we are both civil engineer majors, but within our team, we have a mix of construction engineers, construction managers, and civil engineers who all come to help work and build this canoe together with
Yeah.
the diverse skill set that we all have.
That's phenomenal. So tell me a little bit about how you're using all of the lessons that you've learned throughout your college career and since you were 7 to apply to your career moving forward. What has this taught you about where you're about to step into your next chapter?
So for me, what has been probably the most difficult but most helpful in terms of like a future career and what that means for me is leading a team. That's something that's super important as engineers. I think both of us hope to become PEs one day, run our own team, and making decisions on that. And from that, you need to know how to manage people, know how to resolve conflicts between teammates. And these are all the soft skills that we learned how to do, or that I learned how to do from being a captain, that I think has been essential. I've learned so much from being able to do this, and even being able to translate engineering terms into layman, so basically so that the general public would be able to understand what we were saying through our paper and our presentation.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Hannah, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, for me, like being in a leadership position, you get so much experience, not just in what we call like the technical skills. So, I've been applying structural analysis principles to the canoe because someone has to make sure that not only is it going to float, we're all going to be able to fit in it, it's not going to break
Yeah.
when we get in it, but also it's not going to break while we transport it to competition. I mean, we have to drive this thing across the country to Utah,
Yep.
and it has to not break. And that's putting it under a lot of stresses. I mean, obviously we're going to have smooth roads in some places, but it's certainly not smooth the whole way. So getting to apply those technical skills, but then like Esther was saying, all of the leadership experience and just knowledge of how to run a team, how to interact with the team. And also, we've become such a part of working with the department on this because we're probably one of the larger student organizations within our department. I mean, obviously falling under the umbrella of ASCE, but
Yes.
we, get asked to volunteer to do things a lot. So
Yes.
how to also work with people who are higher up, who are in charge of you and who are dictating what you can and can't do. So a lot of that for us has been great. We're learning how to lead people, but we're also learning how to follow in a way and be given instruction. So I think that's been really helpful for us.
Yeah, all of that sounds so productive. So what's your favorite part? What's the most fun for y'all?
I think actually my favorite thing, so obviously like going to the competition, by the time you get there, you've prepared and prepared and prepared, like you are so ready to go. So we go and we have a lot of fun. Like we get there and most of the team, if you're not, we take 23 students, but you actually only can have 10 students who are actively doing something when we're there. So you get your paddle team and you get your presenters and your team captains all have to be within those 10. So for 13 other students, that means we're just going to have a good time. I mean, we're going to help pick up the boat. We're going to
Yes.
help set up the display. Like, they're not doing nothing. But just getting to go is like, one, you just can breathe a sigh of relief. You're done. You made it there. Now we get to have fun. And then when we come back, we usually throw our own little like award ceremony. We have it out on the back deck at my house. And we give out little superlative awards to everyone. It almost is a little bit of a roast at times, but we love it. It's been a great tradition. We've done it 2 years in a row now, and I think the students have really enjoyed it. So.
Oh yeah.
Phenomenal. What's your favorite part?
I would say, and kind of building off of that, my favorite part is definitely just spending time with the team, getting to have, those late nights are stressful, but like it really bonds you to be able to have those experiences and those moments with people that you care about and who are one day going to be in the workforce with you. So the team and the people that I have been able to meet have definitely been my favorite part.
Phenomenal. Yeah, definitely college memories that you're going to take with you and look back on with nostalgia forever. So if someone is maybe sitting in high school and they don't have a concrete canoe team of their own at their school, but they're looking at maybe UT Tyler or other colleges, what advice would you give them and why would you tell them to get involved with concrete canoe?
I mean, I think especially if you're sitting in high school right now and you want to be an engineer, but maybe you don't necessarily know what kind of engineer you want to be. I mean, like we said, we're civil engineering majors, but there's mechanical, electrical, aerospace, whatever. All of those majors all have some kind of project like this. So, as much as I'm going to tell you, come do concrete canoe, it's really fun. I did start as a mechanical engineering major, and concrete canoe is part of the reason I went straight back into civil. This is what I like to do. But even just either, get to your school, figure out, hey, like, do we have some kind of rocketry team?
Yeah.
Mechanical engineering does Baja, or they sometimes do like Formula One cars, or, for us, we have concrete canoe. We also have steel bridge is another big civil engineering competition. So if you're sitting in high school, you're trying to figure out what kind of engineer you are. I think a lot of people as a freshman get too scared to go get involved because they're like, well, I don't know how to build that. I don't know how to design that. I think there are many members of our team that could say, I don't know how we built that. Like, I just showed up and they told me what to do. But now they've built one. They've seen it. They understand a little bit more. And the more you get into it, the more you get into those, upper levels, those leadership roles, all of a sudden you've gained this hands-on experience with engineering. One, that could help you decide, hey, is this what I want to do as a major? But two, now I actually understand sort of what a civil engineer does. I mean, obviously, civil engineers don't typically build concrete canoes once they've graduated college. But, she worked on the concrete mix design all year. And, then from that, I was able to take it and be like, okay, is this thing going to break? Yep. Is it strong enough? So find that way to get involved early on. I heavily encourage that. Because if you're waiting until your senior year to get involved, no.
You're going to be a little behind. That makes complete sense. Now, what day do you guys travel to Utah?
It'll be June, I believe, 20th through 22nd.
So the competition's June 20th through 22nd. We're actually, we were looking at the cost to drive versus the cost to fly. So we're actually going to be flying out to Utah on June 19th and then flying home on the 23rd. So
how does the boat?
So we
have a team.
We have a team of 4 of our guy students have agreed, we'll drive it. So they're going to drive it all the way. They're going to stop in Colorado, and then they're going to keep driving it the next morning, and they'll meet us where we're staying in Provo.
Oh, fantastic.
And then one of our faculty advisors is also traveling with them, and then we are in charge of all the students flying. So there will be
management on both ends.
Oh, yes.
Is very important.
That's where that leadership aspect
Yes.
is
Oh, yeah.
that you guys were talking about. Well, we wish you nothing but the best of luck, both getting the boat and all of the students there in one piece, and then actually, the whole competition part as well. But like you said, that's the fun part. You guys have already worked your tails off up to this point, and now you're just ready to show off what you've been able to accomplish. Again, we wish you guys the best of luck. Thanks for coming in, telling us all about it. I'm excited. I learned a new thing today, and you guys seem like you're passionate about it. It seems like you're excited and that it's put your best foot forward into the workforce. I love that.